I'm Tony Bashara, and I'm going to help you do better at finding a job.
He is listed by Fordyce Magazine as the #1 headhunting career placement guy in the country. The #1 guy. His name's Tony Bashara.
Hey, Sherri, how are you? I'm Tony Bashara. Nice to see you. Have a seat, won't you? All right, let's go over this. Real briefly, you're presently with the Harris Corporation.
No, I actually right now am on just a short-term contract with AT&T.
Okay, what are you doing for them?
I'm working on different training courses and lessons and things like that for both online training and in-class training and a combination.
So you're taking technical, explain it, you're taking technical information and putting it in layman's terms?
Some of it, a lot of it's like that, but a lot of it is also about I just have to go get the information.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, do you like what you do?
At times I do.
Right.
I don't really like the current job at all.
Why?
Well, I'm definitely a people person, and basically what I do every day is drive almost an hour to work, go straight to my desk, sit there on the computer, maybe on the phone, and after 8 hours, get up and leave. So I'd much rather be contributing to society in some way, or at least having interaction with people and intelligent conversation once in a while. So.
Okay, so you can do it and you like it, but it's not, you're not growing.
Right, it's definitely not challenging.
Okay, this is interesting, very interesting. I noticed your tattoos.
Yeah.
Do you cover them up when you go to an interview?
Usually I do.
Good.
But I know I have this struggle in my head where I'm like, if it's going to be something I'm going to be truly happy at, then maybe I'll at least have some of them showing and it will be okay.
Don't do that. Okay, now you want to get the job first.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. It's like growing a beard. You don't have that experience with wear a beard, do a damn interview.
Yeah.
Because people may not like it.
Right.
Now, after you get the job and they get to know you personally, then you could be reasonably eccentric, but I would be a little careful. Okay, but I would certainly cover that up.
Yeah.
And don't try to make any fashion statement, okay?
Yeah.
You're trying to get a job, not set a trend, okay?
That's true.
And 40% of a hiring situation is, do we like you?
Okay.
How well do you fit into our organization?
Yeah.
Is the chemistry there? So what I'd recommend is focus on getting more interviews. Call every friend you ever had.
Yeah.
Okay, that's hard to do when you're trying to keep a job.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have to do a little in the morning, have to do a little phone calling in the afternoon, maybe at lunch break, and then do it in the evening, and keep calling and calling and calling. I keep the job you've got until then.
Yeah.
Okay, but you got to talk to more people and get in front of more people. Okay, and if you use the scripts I give you, you ought to be able to do that, because the kind of thing you do, there's not a lot of people like that.
Yeah.
All right, Sherri, thank you very much for coming by.
Thank you.
We really appreciate you.
Yeah.
Sherri is certainly an interesting candidate. I mean, she is in the kind of business she ought to be in. Is obviously a little more of a people person than what most engineering technical writers are. She has to cover up those tattoos. People will look at that. It's like nose rings and earrings and studs in your tongue and all of that. People think you're weird when you do that, and they don't really want to hire you. You got to realize that when you're being interviewed, people, as I've mentioned before, are looking for the risk factors, and that looks a little too eccentric. And this attitude of, well, if they don't like that, then they can go pound salt, does not get you a job. Okay, you can't do that. So she just has to be probably a little more careful when she interviews. And she has to talk to just a whole bunch of people. She'll always be able to find a job, because the kind of thing she does is hard to find. When people need it, they really need it. Oftentimes, they just don't need it for very long. That's why she's had the short stints that she's had, which really isn't any really big deal in her kind of business. So if Sherri talks to enough people and gets enough interviews, she'll eventually find something and probably settle into something where it's a little more people-oriented and can take into account her pretty good personality for a technical writer.